Well, I think it's highly unlikely that a Jasmine Revolution is going to break out in China. And there are a number of reasons for this. One has to do with the way in which the Chinese government has been building very sophisticated systems of control over the internet ever since the internet showed up in China in the mid-1990s. China's a very different kind of country than Egypt and Tunisia. And one of the reasons why the protest became so big in both of those countries has to do with the fact that you have a very large young population in both of those countries who have no jobs, who feel that they have no economic opportunity, who feel that their countries are stagnant, and who have felt kind of hopeless. So China is a really completely different situation than the Middle East. That's not to say that there aren't potential fissures and problems, and that's not to say that there aren't potential signs that could possibly lead to a movement at some point or to more pressures for political change. But I don't see China really imitating events that we've seen in the Middle East at all. Well, the government has gotten actually quite clever in terms of enabling people to feel freer than they used to. So actually, there's more space on the internet to talk about local concerns, about specific grievances, and people are having these conversations that, you know, there are small incidents of unrest around the Chinese countryside every day, pretty much. You know, there's a lot going on. And so it's about managing this. It's about keeping it to a level where people feel that they have some room to move, yet at the same time the regime doesn't feel like a movement is going to build and bring the whole thing down. So there's some advantage to allowing certain kinds of unrest, certain kinds of conversations happening, both offline and online, but they also recognize there's a line that they need to prevent people from crossing. And as soon as people cross that line, that's when the hammer comes down. It's when the conversation about the local government official turns into a conversation about we need democracy. So currently in China, 450 million people are online. That's less than half of China's population, which totals around 1.3 billion. It's a huge growth area. The Chinese government has prioritized extending broadband access and mobile high-speed access to all of its people because the government sees that if China wants to be a global economic powerhouse and to be a leader in technological innovation, China has to be connected to the internet.